Shyla, I'm starting to stream, and then you can, in a minute, you can walk behind the mic or Leper, and then welcome the crowd and the 1,595 viewers that I have on Twitch in my dreams.
Hmm.
I think I have two viewers on Twitch because I am monitoring my own Twitch stream on two different machines. That's a good start. Gotta start somewhere.
So, so I will just stand here, but I will let you host if that's what you want to do today, Leper, if you're up for it. And then if you want me to take the mic, you just call to me to take the mic.
All right.
Like tag me in. That's all.
Okay, Leper. Go behind the mic though and welcome us. We deserve some welcoming words. Especially the noob, the noob. Welcome to noob.
Welcome, noob, to Open Mic Night. And welcome everybody else. Because, nobody really cares about everybody else. But yeah, welcome, noob. This is about the noob. So Open Mic Night, and, well, you know all the stuff. But shouldn't I just wait for more people to come?
We can, or we get started. Last time, people showed up during, sometimes it's not going to be full house every time. That's just the nature of things. You're the host, you decide. You can tell a story in the meantime, or
Yeah, I'm ready.
Garth is always ready. He has stories.
So you want to come up, Garth? Sing us a little story song.
Well, I suppose I could. Would you like me to tell a story?
Garth, you need to go behind your microphone.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is it the audio working well?
It's very working very well.
Okay. I don't want to be too loud. Okay.
Wait,
well,
you gotta welcome the noob first. Welcome the noob.
Welcome, noobs. And I wasn't prepared, but I know a lot of people, like, we're talking about games and virtual reality and stuff, and I'd like to go back to, like, when this stuff was, like, getting started, and I was deep in southwest China at a remote place at an art institute there at the time, and there's a lot of mystery about Tibet, right? And I actually had a Tibetan. Actually, I had a lot of Tibetan students because we're closer over there to in southwest China. So what were we doing? Well, we were making virtual sort of games, but we were still in desktop mode. But we were putting 3D characters and stuff in an application called Virtuals. And yeah, so we had documentation about in Chinese, right? About how to work with the applications that we were working with, and this poor Tibetan girl was going to be kicked out of the program.
Why?
Because she was not. Well, she was not. The head teacher was saying that she wasn't doing her work well enough, and sort of. It was sort of, they considered it a privilege for you to be able to work on all the computers and everything because it's expensive equipment. And if you didn't do well, they might kick you out and you would only be able to paint and draw or whatever for the whole rest of your college career.
Oh, I see. So that's like like for the art school, like this was one piece of it, like a really sought after. Wow, cool! These guys have computers and stuff like that. So everybody really wanted to get in there.
Right. Yeah. And so finally it was like the day that she was going to be kicked out, and I sat down with her and I opened up the book, and I read. I had to learn how to read Chinese to even get the job, so I could. And I was like, "Look, okay, here it says, you get the tool, and you open this menu, and then and I'm sitting there, I'm reading the text to it, And she was like, her eyes got really big, and she said, "This handbook, it's really important." And I said, "Yeah, well, that's what I've been trying to tell you for 3 months. You got to read it, you know." And she said, "Well, how are we supposed to know? You never beat us."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was like, yeah.
You mean beating, physically beating?
Yeah. She was like, "Well, we didn't think any of this was important because you didn't beat us." And so, so that was my realization that back in the Tibetan schools, you still have the corporal punishment, right?
Wow.
And they don't, and here she was. I mean, she was like what, 20, 21 or something like that, And I was like, oh no, no comment. But I was like, well, now I've been trying to tell you, you got to read the instructions so you can do the job the boss told you how to do. And she's like, "Okay, I'm going to read it." And so she didn't get kicked out.
Wow. Do you know? I mean, I don't know anything about the dynamics also between rural and urban. I mean, is this something that you found out? Is this something that's more prevalent maybe in the rural parts? So I really don't know if maybe Tibet is rural in its entirety, and maybe the biggest city is compared to our cities may be a village or something like that. That's what I was thinking when I think about corporal punishment.
I sort of, just from, it sort of reminds me of the Samaritans. Some people say, well, the Samaritans were really the original, but now they're like looked down upon. And I think the linguistic evidence, kind of points to the Tibetan language possibly being the source of the Chinese language. But there is there's ethnic problems. The way, in the South where I live in Georgia, we had problems with segregation and discrimination and everything. Oh, yeah. And we had a civil rights movement, and it said everybody's got equal rights and you can't, segregate and stuff. And China had the same problem, but they have 56 ethnic groups, and they set up all these laws to protect your rights and had a desegregation and stuff like that. So when I was there, I would never even know the girl was from Tibet. She just looks like any other Chinese person. Yeah. But some Chinese are like, "Oh, well, I'm in this group, so that means I'm special or something, But the official policy is the same that we have in America, that we gotta have equal treatment for all the different ethnic groups and everything, and that they're protected by the law. And then the people that are discriminators or whatever are, generally they're bad. They're bad. They shouldn't be doing that.
Stuff looks good on paper.
Yeah.
With that stuff.
So.
Yeah.
That's my story.
Thank you, Guard.
We were working with Dassault Virtuals and 3D Studio Max and Maya, and they were making first-person shooters, and we used Caldera to decimate our meshes. Yeah. So. And days of yore and times long gone before, and yeah.
Leper, I have a story. Leper.
Come on up.
Shall I come up?
Yep. Come on up.
Shall I come up like Draxo?
Sure. Freedom of speech, freedom of creativity.
Hi, everybody. Hi, how are you guys?
Rex.
How's the room? Get the temperature? Ooh, it's cooking. Woohoo! All right. No, I thought about this theme this morning. They're like, well, I don't have anything. We're in VR, we're in immersive VR, but I don't have anything to say about that. I don't have any funny stories or anything. Garth, could you mute your mic a little? Sorry, there's the compressor is pumping. Um, but then I realized I have a funny story that happened in Second Life, which to me is virtual reality. It was 2008. It was during the Second Life super hype. I was on the Monterey Peninsula in California, and I was working with San Jose, with Santa Clara University. Santa Clara University had hired some Second Life content people to replicate their campus. They built the entire campus in Second Life. They wanted to have courses in Second Life, in VR, in virtual reality. They wanted to replicate their museum. They invested heavily into Second Life to make a model and also do the entire courses in economics and chemistry and other things. A professor I knew recommended me as a Second Life consultant, somebody who could help faculty onboarding into Second Life. So I drove up to Santa Clara University. It was a 1 day workshop, I think 5 or 6 hours with a little break in between. And I gave a little 20-minute presentation about Second Life and how cool I think it was, and bringing people together from all walks of life, and you can have avatars that represent you. And so there's a bunch of different professors there, and some are you can tell there's maybe 10, 15 professors, and some sit there and they nod, and others look skeptical, but they do take notes. And there was one guy who was very demonstrate what's the word demonstrating his non-interest by sitting there with his arms crossed, really giving me sort of the stink eye, like, yeah, what kind of bullshit is this Second Life? I just want to teach. I want to stand in front of real people there. What's all this crap, virtual reality, mumbo jumbo? We don't need that. So I made a mental note. Okay, this guy's gonna be trouble. Next step was onboarding, going into Second Life, signing up an avatar, and getting dressed. And they had this whole replica of not only their campus and their museum and everything and classrooms, they also had their own store with different clothing. So they had a whole variety of really kind of cool clothing. They had very nice suits. They had casual wear. They had different hairs. They had glasses, all sorts of accessories. So the faculty and the staff, they were now supposed to go in world, dress their avatars, outfit their avatars, and you could see, we had several workstations. So the faculty members with varying degrees of enthusiasm kind of fiddled around with their avatars, and I looked over their shoulders. I went from station to station, helped them, like, oh, you got to click over here, and here's how you change your hair, and you change your hair color like this, blah blah blah. As you can imagine, the one guy who turned out to be a professor in the economics department was just sitting there with his arms crossed, didn't do anything. He had the default avatar, who was by default, I think, a guy with sort of a glued on suit, really crappy looking suit, and he was bald, no hair, and sort of the noob avatar, okay? And I go like, hey, don't you want to dress your avatar, or what's happening? Nah, this is all bullshit. Come on, avatars. What kind of kindergarten is this? I want to teach. We're wasting time. Do you even know what this crap costs here? Thousands and thousands of dollars for a replica of in some glorified video game. I want to teach. I want to teach, and change the world. And I go like, okay, whatever. Do whatever you want. I went to the others, and they were like, "Oh, this is cool," and some of the faculty were like, "Oh, this is really cool. I can actually. Oh, can I also be a non-humanoid?" People asking questions, very creative. You could tell there's the creative types and such. All right, and then it was time for a little field trip. So we log into Second Life, and I said, okay, let's go to a couple of places. Let's go to in Silico. This is sort of a sci-fi place. Let's go to the Stanford campus. This is another university here in California, as you know. Let's check out what they're doing. And so we teleported there. And I had a big overhead screen where my avatar was, and I was again walking between the different workstations, help people out, help them to show them how to walk and stuff like that. And then I said, okay, so now let's go to virtual Munich because I am from Munich originally, and there's a guy who replicated the downtown area of Munich in virtual reality, and it looks really cool. And I just want to show you guys what's possible in sort of intercultural exchange. If you want to go to a different place, there's also Eiffel Tower and stuff like that. But let's go to Munich and see how that looks. So we all teleport over there, and again, I should say the economics professor, he was with us, okay? He joined, but always with this, bullshit. What kind of waste of time is this? I gotta go back to teaching the kids, change the world in the real world, not in some video game. And but he was with us, yeah. He didn't just, say, well, I'm gonna totally boycott this. No, he teleported with us. He went to the places. Now we're standing there at the Marienplatz, which is the downtown center in Munich. The replica in Second Life was really well done. It's no more. My friend who ran it, he gave up. But it was for the time a really accurate replica of the real downtown Munich. So we're standing there at the Marienplatz, and there are people running around. It was a very popular sim at the time, so there's at least 10 people running around, rezzing in and walking away. And so I see the economics professor standing in the corner, and people were uh, communicating with text. So you see the bubbles go up and people texting with each other. And I see at the corner of my eye while I'm helping the other people and while I'm showing them so that the sites of the downtown area, the big marine statue and the city hall, I see at the corner of my eye that the economics professor is approached by a random Second Life resident who starts typing in Italian. So Italian comes up in the speech bubble, and I see the economics professor's eyes widen, and he goes, "What?" And he signals to me, and I run over to him in the room. And I go, "What's happening?" He goes, "This guy is chatting or texting or whatever you call it in this video game, and he's talking in Italian. Is what is he doing? He's saying hello. How are you?" And I go to the economics professor. I say, "Well, do you speak Italian?" Yes, of course I speak Italian. I studied in Florence, blah blah blah, and I speak fluent Italian. I think this guy's talking to me. Is he talking to me? And I go like, yeah, he's probably talking to you, standing right in front of you. And so the text goes up, and he goes, yes. How do I text back? And I go like, well, just type into the bar here. Just type and then hit the enter key, and then the text will come up. And so he starts typing in Italian. He starts typing, "Oh, hello, where are you from? I'm here in America. I'm in Santa Clara University. I teach economics." "Oh, interesting. You teach biology in Rome. Interesting. Oh, I haven't been in Rome for years." They strike up a conversation completely random in Italian. Complete coincidence that the guy spoke Italian, that the guy who approached him was Italian. They keep talking, they exchange email addresses, and it goes on. And I always, I have him in the corner of my eye checking what he's doing. Meanwhile, I'm talking to the rest, and they're asking me questions and stuff. So we do Q&A, and I'm looking over to the other guy. And so I can see the Italian guy is walking away and derezzing. The economics professor jumps up from his seat, comes over to me and says, "Oh my God, I have one question." And I go like, "Yeah, what is it?" Where is that store where I can buy some nice hair and a nice suit?" And that's my story.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. And
Story
An
Jacks.
American and an Italian meet in Second Life.
Nebula, you came late, but because the moral of the story here is that as soon as we represent ourselves as avatars, and I think I say that he was also bald in real life. He was kind of mid 50s, and then he was I think specifically asking me where's the store where you can buy suits and hair. So that was hilarious. Yeah,
A divot.
that's my story. It's so quiet today, Nebula.
to pay.
What? What, Drax?
This is open mic. The mic is open.
Well, I'm here to listen.
No,
I'm still working.
no, this is pressure. The pressure is real.
I don't have any stories. I'm boring. Boring AF.
I have a couple of poems.
Boring AF is the theme, incidentally, for next week.
No. We have a theme. We picked out a lot of themes last week, so we actually already have a theme for next week.
Oh, we do. Oh, cool.
Yeah, we do. It's pets.
Ooh. Okay, I'll sit back down. Shyla, maybe?
I have a couple poems if that's okay.
Always.
So, this first poem is for Drax. It's called For Drax.
Uh-oh.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah, because it's for Drax.
Mm.
So I titled it For Drax. And it's a poem in 7, so every line here has 7 syllables. It goes like this. With energy frenetic from a far dramatic land to east of the Pacific, sizzling camera in hand, filming friends in Los Angeles, picturing, planning each scene, then soared to San Francisco, taping more pals for the screen. Then he flew half the country, halfway to the Atlantic, brought camera and energy into my home, ecstatic. He offered direction, provided reassurance, gave all of his attention, time for rest and convalescence. Sharing his thoughtful vision, guiding the camera's course, calling out each instruction, visionary in full force. Directors more than direct, yearning protagonist's heart, without demands or edicts, deep feelings flow a la carte. So I thank the producer, the director, the artist who came to capture our truth. Waving goodbye was hardest. Peace to you, my peaceful friend. And that was for the work Drax did on the film Our Digital Selves.
Wow. Shyla, thank you. Ah, I want to hang
Very
it
nice. Very
up.
nice.
Shyla, that's making me all teary-eyed.
Well, this next one is if I could
Wow.
build an experience, this is going to be weird, but in the brain of a gecko, if I could build an experience in VR, it would be this dream because I think it's totally cool and I like Halloweenish stuff. So this is called Dream 1. My teeth fell out in a dream, a bundle without effort to cling, as if yanked, removed the seam, holding their place in me. Roots and all fell from within, down and down, spiraling down, no effort made to hold them in, whiteness tumbling, descending. Dr. Jung asserts I am afraid of aging, aimlessness, less efficient and productive, and he is right again and again. My teeth fall out despite me. Youth passes me by freely. Beyond my grasp, it escapes. I watch it bloom with jealousy in the children surrounding me. Where is my memory? Where went my brain? How sluggish my body as it finds elderly. How assertively aged demons come to me. Give them back, each one I plead. Give them back to me, please. A prisoner of my greed, for purpose, life, and all it is to me. My teeth fell out in silence. My teeth fell in a bundle. What could be more powerful? My teeth fell out in a dream. So I'd like to replicate that in Sansar.
We got put a team together right now.
Those are my 2 poems.
Thank you, Shyla. Maybe we can copy and paste them into when the YouTube video renders into the description, into the comment
okay.
section. If nobody goes, then I have another one. Hello?
I think Bluebell.
Oops, I muted Leper. Oh, by accident. I'm sorry. Leper was so.
Muted the host.
That's not a good idea. And Jeep, if you have a story, walk right up to the mic.
Well,
No pressure.
Bluebell, Leper was saying Bluebell's got a story.
Okay.
Want to type it in?
I'm bringing up the chat window too.
Shyla, can you read for me? Yes, I will read for you.
Oops. I'm standing in front of Garth, blocking his view.
Unmute Leper.
I unmuted him.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, you don't tell somebody they don't know.
I can see
And
you
then they
typing, Jeep.
just,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I have a chat window in VR. Sorry, Leper, you're the host. Go ahead. Didn't
Well, I'm
mean to.
doing Bluebells.
Yeah.
Virtual worlds are to me a thing that goes on in your mind and hardware. Virtual worlds have no real limits but our own mind. It is a play garden, a safe place. It can be a place to set boundaries or let them go. It is a place to explore the boundaries you put on yourself or the boundaries others put on you. It is a place to cross them or to find out they are there for a reason. Virtual worlds can build you a dream. It can make you fly, forget, love, get distracted. Virtual worlds can make you discover talents you did not know you had, friends you did not know that were out there. It is a safe place to meet, to connect, to learn. It is a place to educate, to shelter, to heal. It is your place, your world, your power, your imagination. It is yours and is what you make it, just like real life.
Wow. Applause.
Back to you, Leper.
Thank you, Bluebell.
wow, Bluebell, I thought we were cool and you wanted me to do it, but you was get shot out do it. How dare you?
We have another new visitor, Bubblehorn. I just wanted to say that this is open mic. Anybody can go to the mic right away. Don't wait. Go to the mic. Tell your story, whatever it is, a poem, or you want to read something, or perform a tune. And Leper and Shyla are hosting, but they're both far away from the mic. And when Dragster sees an unoccupied mic, you know what happens? This happens. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Markus, hallo, wie geht's?
Danke, gut.
Oh, Garth, ja. Okay, can I tell one more? Hello, host?
Sure.
Shyla? Is Leper the real host today?
Leper is the real host today.
Okay. Pray to my leper. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is also a story from 2008. I did a story about virtual Guantanamo. They in Second Life there was a virtual version of the infamous prison camp of Guantanamo, was replicated by who then later became the godmother of virtual reality, Noni de la Peña. Look her up; she does amazing work. So I did a story about virtual Guantanamo that got pretty viral in the sense that it was picked up by Vanity Fair, was picked up by German Der Spiegel magazine, and so it went all over the world, and it put sort of virtual journalism or immersive journalism on the map a little bit. Again, I'm just taking credit for the story. I did not build Guantanamo. That was Noni de la Peña. But so I'm sitting here and enjoying all the success of the story, and then I get an email, an invitation to Paris, France, all right, to to take part in a award ceremony called Every Human Has Rights Award, given out by Internews Agency and given out by Desmond Tutu, part of the Elders. And the Elders is a group of international human rights activists and politicians and public figures who want to do good in the world. And that was the first of its kind in 2008. And journalists from all over the world were invited to come there, journalists who talk about human rights issues in their work. And I go like, hey, I'm not a journalist. I'm just an avatar who stumbled into a virtual replica of the Guantanamo prison camp and did a little story about it. But they go, yeah, why don't you come to Paris? And so I arrived there uh, with my wife and young son, and it was pretty crazy. It was December 2008, and there were about 20 finalists from 1,000 or so applicants. 20 finalists, and then I think five of them won an actual award. So I was a finalist. I didn't win the award yet. So we're there and we're in the hotel and we meet each other, and they sort of do a little small talk, and the one guy says, "Oh yeah, I did a story in Indonesia about the military raping people, raping women, and that, and then oh yeah, I did a story about the Bhopal disaster in India." And people did some crazy work, like online stuff, radio stuff, and then they look to me, they look to me and say, "What did you do? Why are you here?" And I'm like, um, well, I did like a little story about a virtual version of the Guantanamo prison camp in a kind of a virtual world." And they looked at me weird, I have to say, and I felt strange. I felt inadequate. I felt like, hey, I'm sitting behind my computer and I can shut it off, and they're basically out there in some really, really crazy, hardcore, bad circumstances, and they're doing really the shoe leather type journalism, and I can shut it off and go to a nice dinner. But they were really respectful, actually, and what we actually did, I logged them all into Second Life at one point, and we did a live event from within Second Life. I'm sorry, I gotta mute your leper because it's very loud. It's gonna come into the stream. Um, Sorry, I'll mute you in a sec. The They were really nice and we got along really well, and they said, you're doing your part. You're putting this story on the table, and people watch it, and and maybe they go in and they realize that that is an issue, and they keep thinking about it. So it's not you're not lesser than we are. So I felt good about that, and so we did 3 4 days. We did visit the UN in Paris, and other things were on the agenda. It was really kind of fascinating. Um, and then was the big award ceremony. I didn't win anything. There was former President Jimmy Carter. I have a picture with me on stage with Jimmy Carter, who held a little speech. There was Richard Branson in the audience. There was Peter frickin' Gabriel in the after party. I'm not kidding you guys. Um, so I'm standing around in the after party drinking little champagne, and the organizer comes to me and says, "Radio France wants to do an interview with you." Okay, and I go like, "Yeah, that's cool." Well, they asked me, "Do you want to do an interview with Radio France?" And I go like, "Sure." Oh, and I forgot to say, I was listed as American because we lived in California at the time, so I was the entry to the award was from America. So for their purpose, I was an American. So the lady from Radio France comes with her recorder, with her microphone, says, "Hello, how are you?" I said, "I'm fine." "Okay, I want to ask you a few questions. How about you come in? How was it possible for you to go into Guantanamo prison camp? No journalist can go into Guantanamo prison camp. You're the only person who get into it. How did you manage to come to be allowed into Guantanamo prison camp?" And I was like, "I think you misunderstood. Um, it's not the physical prison camp. It's a virtual version, like in virtual reality. It's like if you imagine like and I felt like I was like starting to sweat for I was like, oh my God, I gotta all this fear that came back, like they would not accept me, like the other people who were nominated, and they felt like I felt like the total super fraud in this party. Everybody's talking human rights, and I'm here from Second Life. And so I tell her, yeah, well, this is, this is basically an experiment. It's a replica in a virtual world, and we're doing it to bring to the forefront these issues of human rights and stuff. And then I see her getting red and really angry. I can tell as I'm talking. And then she starts, "What the fuck are you doing? You fucking Americans! You think this is a joke? You think Guantanamo is some sort of a game? A video virtual game? You are sick! There are people in prison there for years, stripped of human rights, dignity, and you make game out of it. Fuck you!" And she walks away. And that's my story. And then I bumped into Peter Gabriel,
Ow.
and drank a glass of champagne with him and said I'm a big fan, and so. But it was, yeah, that's it. All right, that killed the room. Hello.
Wowie zowie.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Wow.
I can completely laugh about this.
I don't play. I only played Second Life like once, but like, what's the state of Second Life right now?
That's a good question. That is not part of the theme.
Yeah,
Garth?
growth. Wow, I mean, it's growing.
Second Life is huge.
Yeah, the London Lab is still dedicated to it and working on it, and it's undergoing growth.
Second Life is. I just made a 15-year anniversary birthday video, and Second Life generates about 70 million US dollars for content creators and user-to-user transactions. It's gigantic. The variety of cultures is just incredibly enormous. And yeah, I encourage you to maybe watch the movie that Shyla referenced, Our Digital Selves. Then you can get a little glimpse in it. It's on my YouTube channel. Um, we
A
can
lot
talk.
of work underway to make it better and keep developing it.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna sit back down. Slow today. Nobody wants to talk. But Jeep, to answer your question, check out the videos that are around. You'll be pretty amazed. I mean, Second Life is huge and vibrant, and maybe Sansar will rival that at some point and be parallel. But yeah,
I was going to say, I wish that reporter had actually watched your video on Guantanamo.
no, but I thought it was so funny. I mean, I really thought it was hilarious. I could really laugh about it. It was actually I ran after Peter Gabriel because Peter Gabriel was in Second Life in the very beginning, and he did some stuff with Mia Farrow. You can look that up with the Leveling the Playing Field Foundation or some sort of I forgot what that was, but um, uh, I actually have a little 30-second video or something where I'm with my flip cam at the time running after Peter Gabriel and say, "Hey Peter, are you still in Second Life?" Like some stupid TMZ reporter, and he's like, no comment." So there you go. I have to dig that up. I'll send it to you guys. I felt like a total stalker, but there he was, and I needed to ask him the most relevant of questions.
I could do a poem if you want a quick poem.
Yeah. And Bubblehorn, if you like to come up, or Jeep, if you want to talk about games and VR, and Marcus is here in his gigantic contraption. Who's hosting today, by the way?
Leper is the host.
Oh, I muted him.
But yeah,
Leper, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is the run. I'm too stupid to unmute you, Leper. Leper, please go to the mic. I can't hear you.
I'm gonna be. I gotta go, guys, but I'll be sure to come stop by again. So it's nice
Yeah.
talking to you guys.
Jeep, awesome. Awesome to have you. Check out
Awesome.
the events
Nice to meet
list.
you.
Thanks for coming, Jeep.
The big show is always
Yeah,
Saturday. That's
thanks
where
for
we go
coming.
crazy places. All right, Leper.
Oh, is that actually my turn?
Now it is because we tricked you behind the microphone.
Yeah, I got
We're
that
we're
slow to get
sneaky
it.
like that.
Yeah, I got nothing. I had something before, and then I just totally blanked out and forgot all about it.
Yeah. Then let me ask you, what does virtual reality mean to you?
Um, hmm.
Or Sansar?
Well, virtuality can mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but for most people, I believe virtuality means making money
Mm-hmm.
for a
Really?
lot of
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you get past that, like once you realize, oh, I'm in Second Life, I can't make the money because I don't know what to do, so I gotta do something. Or if you go in the center and you do something, I think after a while, it doesn't become about the money. It becomes about whether it's clothes or coloring, clothes or pets, stuff like that. But yeah, I think it becomes different things to different people after a while.
When does it become about friendship?
Um, that one's hard to say. But I think it comes about friendship almost for most people, almost as soon as they log in, they see somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because most people just think, oh, this is a game, and since it's a game, that is not gonna have people, or they're gonna be real stingy and not talk to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Is it about money for you, or is it about friendship, or is it both? Because you said for most people, or you said for it means many things for many people. I'm personally would be interested what it means to you personally.
Well, yeah, cause like this means for many people, it means the money, including me. I meant the money, but when I say most people, and it means many things, I mean like it depends on what world you go to. Like if I went to one world where I can get pets, it's about pets for me.
Mm-hmm.
If I go to another world where I can do coloring, it's about coloring.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it depends on the world and the place you go and the people you greet and they greet you back. But, I guess for me, it's always been about this having fun and be a pet teamer if I can.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you Sansar had pets. Oh, trust me, I would be the first to do my pet job.
Right, because often you talk about jobs also in virtual reality. What kind of job would you like to have in virtual reality, or in Sans? Let's just say Sansar, which is virtual reality.
um, and Sansar, well, funny thing about that, and since like everybody knows me, that my intentions were probably okay, get the money and then find out what to do. That's what most people do. But for me, it was about, uh, I guess the number one thing for me is to help people. I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that means help them craft stuff or help them, or just explain things to them.
Mm-hmm.
And, they get it. It's what I love.
Mm-hmm. And you would be then your job could be described as a tour guide of sorts.
mm,
No?
well, I like to say is when somebody says, "Oh, what job do you do, Leper? What job do you do? What job do you want to do?" Well, I say, "Well, I want to the best team, but what I officially do is that I'm for hire because everybody wants my attention
Mm-hmm.
because everybody feels like if there's somebody who can help them and explain it well and make them feel important, they're gonna flock to that person."
That would be so people you're like a this remind like a big brother. That in school
Yeah.
we had that that it was I think between fifth and maybe ninth grade where a ninth grader took a fifth grader under their wing and helped them with stuff and showed them around and lent them an ear and was always there, was present. That could be you could start a business here. Put a little shingle on the door in virtual reality that you're for hire.
Yeah. But if you think about what does it mean when somebody's for hire, like if you think about it, like what does it mean when I'm for hire? Because you can't just say it's about the wording you say is how you say it.
Yep.
You can't just say I'm for hire because, well,
Why does that have a bad connotation? Does that sound like I don't know, like a prostitute or something maybe?
no, it doesn't say that. If you say for hire and you don't say I'm strictly craft fire or a merchant fire or whatever. Um, if you don't say that and you just keep it vague, people are gonna assume that you're that you can do everything
Ah,
and there's stuff that you don't know how to do. And it's about reputation. Reputation.
the reputation, then you have to just define it closely what you're offering, the services that you would be offering.
Yeah.
Hmm. Is there a difference between virtual reality and reality?
Um. Well, if you put it for a logical sense, then yes, there is a difference. Because like you can't fly in reality and think you fly in virtuality because you can do it, or you can build a house in virtuality and think you're uh, a master builder.
Hmm.
It's not gonna happen. But we see that every day how people get they blend in virtual reality, like whether it's drawing, whether it's painting, because like they imagine they it's just part of the virtual reality, and then if you include money in some virtual worlds, which many virtual worlds have money, real money now, that's blending in with reality and virtual reality.
Right. And the people are kind of real too.
Yes. Like most people would say that, oh, this is a game, and as soon as they meet people, they assume they're AIs
Yep.
or NPCs,
That
and they
yeah,
don't know what to do.
that is so spot on. That happens to me all the time.
But I think for most people, like if they go from the game sense, I mean, some gamers can get used to people being like real people in games, but some don't give to that real view because they're afraid that if they do, then it's not a game.
Oh, you mean
And
like people are afraid that it's getting too real?
well, yeah, because
In what
like
way?
like in the way that once they realize that people are real, and then they're like, holy hell, I can pay real money and get USD out of it. So now they're thinking, okay, that's good and all, but now they're thinking about paying their bills and insurance and all this other stuff. And they're like, okay, so I gotta decide if I want to play this game or do I just quit and go to another game and never go in the virtual world because it's becoming too real.
Hmm. Can it also be too real when it's hurtful? When people, sometimes when people get together, there can be a lot of hurt. People can be kind of brutal to each other sometimes. And so when that happens in a virtual world or in virtual reality, it is that as can that be as bad as it is in the physical world, you think?
Most definitely.
Hmm.
We see this happening in the early days of SL. People quit SL because it was too painful.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then, when they come to a place like Sansar, they're like, okay, the people are really kind, but most people are afraid to, how should I say,
Open up.
well, yes, open up. They're afraid to open up, and then most people who are new to the games are, well, they they experience bad memories in games, and then they come to another game, and then they experience good memories. So they're like not really sure what to do, and that on top of everything else, most new players just don't know how to phrase the words, I should say, because once they're afraid that,
That it will happen again.
well, yeah, they're afraid they'll have again, and two, they're afraid that the questions they ask are really stupid,
Hmm.
and yeah, because like even if people tell them like there's no stupid questions, they're like, no, there is. Trust me,
That's
there
true.
is.
That's really well said.
Good point.
Yeah, that's what school teachers always say. And that really does not erase the fear to ask a question, right? When the school teacher, oh, there's no such thing as a dumb question. But when feelings, you said people quit SL and then they come here and it's an welcoming environment. Is there a danger here in Sansar that things can go bad?
Well, anything can go bad, anything can go right. Like the fact is, there's a law about it that somebody had a law. I don't know what the law is, but basically, like I don't mean laws and like, oh, you have to obey this. No, there's a law of nature
Hmm.
that um that whatever is right, there will be bad stuff, and then it will get worse, and then it'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
Pendulum,
But
the balance. Yep.
Yin and yang.
exactly.
So, but okay, that's a really nice positive outlook. You think that things will get better than when they after they get really bad.
Yeah, cause like take the example of somebody who who like works for a company or who just says, "Oh, I will help you and everything," and then there's and then there's like people like me who just walk around and don't say anything sometimes and just talk to people, like talk to his friends, and then people just randomly hit you up, and they're like, "Oh, they could come to you," and then you're talking for like an hour because it's all about how you present yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying.
They confide in you. They talk to you because you're friendly.
Um. Well, yes, because humans have a natural instinct of sensing fear or malice against somebody, or they can sense it when people are afraid of them or angry at them or just mugging them.
Mm-hmm.
But that takes time. But yeah, it's all about for me anyway. It's about my aura.
That's this is really amazingly insightful. I'm completely completely mesmerized. The original question was about the difference between virtual reality and real reality, and after listening to you, I think can we conclude that there in the most important things there is no difference. The most important things being relationships between people, making a real impact um, between people through things that we do. That there there is no difference, right? It's equally
Mm,
important. Or I mean, how we conduct ourselves or how we behave in virtual reality is with other human beings is as important as we conduct ourselves in the physical world, no?
well, I agree, but I don't totally agree because if somebody is like I don't know a jerk in real life,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna learn pretty quickly that it's not cool to be a jerk in virtual reality.
You think so?
And
But don't
if
you think, do you think, but that means that they could be, that they actually could be made into better people through virtual reality. That's something that I'm not so sure if that works. I think if you're a jerk in real life, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
saying that they can't change because it's a proven fact that people who are isolated, people who are sad or angry or jerks, and they go into virtuality, they come out after like mm, maybe a couple months. You see a little bit difference in them when you're friends with them, and then after a couple of years, you might see a total difference.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. So they could be made into better people through this experience. It's possible, you think?
Right. So sometimes it can be a vehicle for positive change and adaptation. But then there are some types that are they act more polite and nice in real life, and they're secretly a jerk, and then they come in
Yes.
and they troll people.
That's a good point. Yep. Yep.
And they say, oh, well, actually in real life, I'm very meek and mild and polite and stuff, so I would never do, so it's okay if I do it in virtual,
Yeah.
you know, because I'm not really like that. But actually, maybe they are really like that, and yeah, so
I
they
interviewed a
shouldn't do that.
troll once. She was young. I would estimate she's probably in her mid 20s. She's still around. Lavendel Storydell is her name. I have a I interviewed her on a sit
She's
down.
awesome. Awesome. Favorite troll. Watch her on
Mm,
YouTube.
no. Okay. So here,
Um,
well, here's my take on it. Uh, so she came in a bunch of times and sort of harassing, I don't know, me and others, basically making fun of our age. I was there with Frauke Hornbeek in SL, and she comes in, hey, you guys are old. Haha, it's a Saturday evening, and you guys sitting around in a virtual world, virtual reality. You have no friends. Haha, how old are you guys? Oh my God, how sad. And I go, who the hell are you? You sound really young. When I was your age, I was actually, what are you doing here? I flipped it around and said, like, what you are trolling people your dad's age. I mean, you should be out and about, like, having some fun. That's pretty sad what you're doing. So, and then I invited her to be interviewed. And so I was not impressed with the type of trolling, to be honest. And since I interviewed her, I changed my opinion quite a bit. But here's my quick point. I interviewed her, and I just wanted to pick her brain and find out what she was doing, why she was doing this, right? Why she's spending time and energy at an age where when you're my age, you feel like, oh my God, these kids have so much time, and if I had the time today, I could do so much stuff, and I'm really fundamentally jealous. And I told her that, and she says, yeah, but I'm doing it for fun, and why do you, such a spoil sport dragster? I mean, you gotta like loosen up. And I said, but you go into people's homes in Second Life and you're harassing them and you don't know who they are. You don't know what kind of trauma they bring to the table. You don't know if that's their safe space. It's the same thing. And she says, no, it's not the same thing. It's really stupid that they have a house in Second Life. How stupid they are. And I said, who? How do you know that this person that you're making fun of in your YouTube stream and uh, and you're getting your notoriety out of this is maybe a person with deep social anxiety and deep trauma, and that's the only safe space that that person has in this virtual world, and you're taking that away too. It's the same thing as if you're banging on his door in the physical world and you're screaming, hello, you idiot, hello. It's bullying nonetheless. It's the same thing. And she was like, oh, Dragster, you're so serious, blah, 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 blah. And the funny thing is, it's not funny, but I got agitated through because then I wanted to remain calm during this interview, but I got mad that she didn't see this. And I work with a lot of people from the disabled community, uh, not only with this movie, but prior. And I come from this background. My mother was a special ed teacher, and I was raised with trying to be aware that people have issues and you have to respect that and you cannot assume that everybody is totally fine even though they're smiling. And so it's bullying no matter where you slice it. And I got mad in this interview, and this video or this podcast has about 50, 60 comments from her fans that are saying, oh, Dragster, she won, Dragster lost it, and yeah, and that makes me really sad. It makes me really sad. And I connected that in the interview to those trolls that were trolling for Trump. There's a bunch of really interesting articles. This American Life did a whole radio show about that, where some Reddit people were just like, we can sort of trigger people and we can provoke them, and so it's all the same to me, frankly. I don't. There is no mild harassment. There is no such thing. There is no harassment. It's harassment masquerading as entertainment, is what it is. Sorry, Nebula. Nothing. Nothing personal. I used to like Esteban, for example. Esteban is a Second Life troll, and I admit I was laughing at his home invasion things, but then again, it's the same story. Um, it's not his right to harass people who find a safe space in virtual reality. All right, that killed the room. Oh wait, the room was already dead. Big googly moogly. Nebula, do you want to tell a story? Oops.
She's still there.
Nebula is mad at me now. Leopard, this was absolutely wonderfully deep. And since you're the host, you need to now thank us for coming and all that kind of jazz.
Oh, yes, yes. So, thank you all for coming, even though happy you would left. But thank you for all you coming. Thank you on the followers too. Because, well, you that want to be in the show is, well, people like you that make the show.
How about the noob, though? The noob. Acknowledge the noob, although he's gone.
Yes. Thank you, Noob, for coming, even though you left too. But thank you for Noob. And thank you for everybody who comes. And if you come to Sansar and you have questions, try to ask. Or just type your questions and somebody read it and they'll answer for you. They'll ask for you, I mean. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Leper, for hosting. Thank you, Shyla, for hosting. Goodbye, YouTubers. Is Shyla still alive?
I am still here. Thank you, Leper.